This is Pulse of Africa, the face of Ethiopia, the voice of Africa.
Hello and welcome to Pulse of Africa News. I'm Samia Mohammed with the news. Our top stories for today. Sputnik opens African Bureau in Addis Ababa. Netherlands to return 119 Benin bronzes to Nigeria. African leaders establish fund to provide cheaper debt. Trump says new China trade deal possible despite tensions. Now, the news in detail. Sputnik International has launched its African Bureau in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. The ceremony was attended by key figures, including Ethiopian and Russian diplomats. The new bureau aims to serve Ethiopia and Africa with an editorial policy that prioritizes the national interests of Ethiopia. Russian Federation Council Chairperson Valentina Matviyenko emphasized the bureau's role in strengthening Russia-Africa relations and providing reliable news. Ethiopian House of Federation Speaker Agenyo Teshagar expressed confidence that Sputnik Africa's global reach will play a key role in highlighting Ethiopia's realities on the world stage. To Netherlands. The Netherlands has agreed to return more than 100 Benin bronzes to Nigeria, the latest European country to return cultural artifacts to Africa, the Dutch embassy in Abuja said on Wednesday. Nigeria is on a quest to get thousands of intrinsic bronze sculptures and castings that were looted by British soldiers during a raid on then-separate Kingdom of Benin, located in what is now southwestern Nigeria in 1897. The Dutch embassy said in a statement that the Netherlands will return 119 artifacts following an agreement signed between its education minister and the head of Nigeria's National Commission for Museums and Monuments. The artifacts are expected to arrive in Nigeria later this year. The collection includes 113 bronzes that are a part of the Dutch state collection, while the remainder will be returned by the municipality of Rotterdam. The Netherlands is returning the Benin bronzes unconditionally, recognizing that the objects were looted during the British attack on Benin City in 1897 and should have never ended up in the Netherlands, the embassy statement said. Turning to DRC Congo. A new unidentified illness has emerged in the Democratic Republic of Congo's Equator province, the World Health Organization reported. 2 clusters of cases and deaths have been reported, with 431 cases and 45 deaths by February 15. The first outbreak traced to Boloko village began in January, with victims showing symptoms like fever, diarrhea, and hemorrhaging after consuming a bat carcass. A second cluster was reported in February. While several diseases are being considered, Ebola and Marburg have been ruled out. The WHO urged immediate action to secure humanitarian access and enhance public health surveillance. To neighboring Kenya. Kenya's tourism sector experienced significant growth in 2024, attracting 7.5 million visitors, including 2.4 million international tourists and 5.1 million domestic travelers. Tourism and Wildlife Cabinet Secretary Rebecca Miano revealed that the country received 2.4 million international visitors in 2024 and compared to 2 million visitors in 2023. The top source markets include the US, Uganda, Tanzania, the UK, and India. The African market contributed 40% of arrivals, with Jomo Kenyatta International Airport handling 67% of total visitors. The government is targeting 5 million international and 10 million domestic tourists by 2027. With new safety measures in place to boost growth, it was indicated. Now, to US-China ties. US President Donald Trump said it will be possible to reach a fresh trade deal with China, signaling he is open to heading off a brewing trade fight between Washington and Beijing. It is possible, Trump told reporters on Air Force One on Wednesday, when asked if he could make a new agreement with China. Trump did not describe the parameters of potential deal, and any agreement would face significant obstacles, some of the president's own making. Trump has ratcheted up pressure on China with an additional 10% tariff on all imports from the country, punishment for what he said are unfair Chinese trade practices and failure to stop the flow of fentanyl into the US. The president nonetheless heaped praise on Chinese President Xi Jinping, but once again did not say if or when they would speak directly. There is a little bit of competitiveness, but the relationship I have with President Xi is, I would say, a great one, Trump said. Looking into cyber attacks. Global email cyber attacks increased by 197% between July and December 2024, according to Swiss cybersecurity firm Acronis Cyber Threats Report. The report has also unveiled alarming trends in its latest cyber threats report, H2 2024, the rise of AI-driven threats. Cyber attacks on managed service providers also saw an increase, with phishing being the most commonly used method to infiltrate such network, it was indicated. According to this new report, nearly half of business users were targeted by email attacks. Between July and December 2024, close to half users faced email-based threats, while spam accounted for 31.4% of all emails, 1.4% of which contained malware of phishing links. These sophisticated attackers use techniques such as stolen credentials, social engineering, and supply chain attacks to infiltrate MSP networks and spread ransomware to client systems.
Ethiopia is my blood, your story and our identity, ornamented by centuries of sacrifice. The story of resurgent Ethiopia and burgeoning Africa is here, only on the Pulse of Africa channel, all the time. Pulse of Africa, the face of Ethiopia, the voice of Africa.
Shifting to business news. African leaders have approved a fund to provide concessional lending to cash-strapped governments. The facility, known as the African Financial Stability Mechanism, will be managed by African Development Bank. It will have its own credit rating and will be able to borrow from international money markets, the bank said in statement. The call to create the facility was made in 2022 as the COVID-19 pandemic and the war in Ukraine drove sovereign defaults and debt crisis in developing countries. The bank said membership of the fund will be voluntary and open to any member state of the African Union. Deputy Prime Minister of United Kingdom, Angela Rayner, has paid a visit to Ethiopian Airlines. The Deputy Prime Minister and her delegation visited the Ethiopian Aviation University, Ethiopian maintenance and repair overhaul facilities, and the state-of-the-art flight simulators. After her visit, she engaged in discussions with Ethiopian Airlines Group CEO Mesfin Tassau and the executive management team. Ethiopian Airlines serves the UK with 16 weekly flights to London Heathrow, London Gatwick, and Manchester, connecting people, cultures, and businesses with our fleet of ultra-modern aircraft. Before we wind up, let's get you updated on the global commodity prices. That's all for today. Join us tomorrow on Pulse of Africa. Thank you for watching.
This is Pulse of Africa, the face of Ethiopia, the voice of Africa.